This is your carburetor. This is a 400. This is a 250. 250, same carburetor, just smaller. Remove your choke. Here's what I was talking about. This is the spigot where your oil line goes on. If you bought an aftermarket carburetor, it wouldn't have that. If you'll watch this, I've had this carburetor apart. This is battery acid. Watch this. See all that white crap? Be careful. You know acid's acid. Look how quick that cleaned that up. I may not be able to get this one apart. When you clean that with battery acid, sulfuric acid, what you want to do is pour water and baking soda on it, and that'll stop it from eating. This is your low speed jet in this little tube right here. Right here. Let me show you a trick. Take your wire brush, grab one of the wires, and pull. That wire is absolutely perfect for cleaning out small, low-speed jets. Absolutely perfect. Make sure that jet's clean. Get you some carb cleaner. Now, normally, look how clean that cleaned that. Remember, it looked messed up. But if you don't neutralize it with the baking soda, it'll just keep eating. When you tap this, if it's hard coming out, well, this carburetor is bad. I will take it. If you beat on this too hard, you'll break this arm. So I'd probably want to support that on something like a socket. If you'll look right here, this one should come out the low speed. And it does, see it? Comes out your low speed. That has to be clear. That's also going to connect with your low speed air screw or fuel screw, idle mixture screw. There's a spring in there. Spring, now watch it. It should also connect with this I showed you, and this are going to connect with your low speed. See? That has to be clear from here to here, and from here to here, and here to here. This other one right here is going to go to your high speed. It's going to be an 8mm. And you're going to have to use this O-ring. That O-ring is very important or it'll flood. And that needs to be all brushed up and cleaned up. It needs to be clear. This is going to connect to this. So I'll probably hope that's empty. Carburetor and air intake cleaner. Get Walmart. Any brand, Berryman's works best, but it's so expensive. Okay, emulsion tube's going to be all stopped up. So what I'll do, this carburetor's messed up, man. It's all eroded. It'd probably run, but the washer. Oops, getting low battery. Okay, get a drill bit or a punch. Get one that fits. Don't get one that'll booger up. That's threaded. Right there's a problem. No, it's not. That's your emulsion tube. See it coming up in the middle? It will only go one way, because see it's slotted. That is all messed up. It's got holes in the side. It's supposed to be clear through this hole. But that needs to be soaked. If you'll watch now, this is clear to here. This is your choke. It's going to have to be clear to here. and it is. This needs to be all cleaned. You can wire brush it, you can soda blast it, you can do whatever. This is your idle. You don't even have to take it out if you don't want to. You can leave it right where it's at. Make sure your oil feed is clear. It just dumps into the throat of the carburetor, see? Nothing to it. It's really simple. This is gonna have to come out, and it's gonna be cantankerous coming out, because if you beat on that too hard, you will definitely break one of these aluminum arms, and then you're gonna have to get another carburetor. I would probably soak it in something, because it's not stuck on the float. When you measure float height, you need to find that spec for your bike. Let's just say it was 20 thousandths or 20 millimeter. Put 20 millimeter on there. You're going to want to measure from where the gasket goes to the top of this arm. You just want it barely touching that needle there. That needle's spring loaded. This one's not spring shot. So when they tell you, say it's 30 millimeter, they want it from here to this arm on the end. See, this is terrible. You see all that crap in there? And you're going to get a million people say what they think and know what they know, and going to say, no, 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 no. Watch this. I've been doing this for 40 years. It's nothing more than battery acid. Like I said, if you don't neutralize it with baking soda and water, it'll keep eating. I usually neutralize it twice. Look at just a few seconds how much that's cleaned at. Okay. This hole right here in the bowl here is where your choke picks up fuel from down here. Back to the choke tube we showed you. It's going to go down this hole, see? And draws its fuel from this hole here. So this hole to here has to be unstopped, and they're always stopped up. It should be squirting out here. Now this is something you just got to mess with. The wire we pulled out a while ago, if you hit it just right, it'll unstop it, but you got to get it perfectly straight. Bend it as straight as you can. Cut that little hoop off the end. It will reach down in there and get that hole if you hit it just right. But if you don't get that unstopped, your choke won't work. You won't get your bike started. There's kind of a jet down there. You just keep fiddling with it and you'll hit that hole. There it is. I think I got it. I keep grabbing that empty one. See it bubbling out in there now? Keep blowing that out till you get that unstopped. And take this here and just clean it and 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 clean it. And clean it some more and take your drain out. Your main jet's in here. 12 millimeter. Just happen to have one. But I ain't getting it loose. But like I said, on your kit, man, it's going to give you a new one of these. Do not use it. It's going to give you a new jet. Do not use it. Their specs are all over the place, and you're going to end up having a problem that don't run, and it's going to be rich or lean or whatever. See, here's your main jet. And your main jet unscrews to, I think it's a 6 millimeter. Take it out, unstop it, get it real clean. But on your kit, use your O-rings, use your mace gasket, use your needle and seat right here. But do not use that emulsion tube, do not use that jet, do not use the needle that goes in the slide. This is tapered to specs, and I'm telling you, it won't run right. And you'll be asking all kinds of questions. Why don't my bike run right? It's flooding. It's running rich. These jets don't wear out. If you get them unstopped, they'll work fine. And the number to the jet's on the end. I'm old and blind. This one's got a 160. This one is on the side, and I would definitely have to have a magnifying glass to see it. But if you order jets or emulsion tube or main jet or a needle, get genuine Mikuni from Jets R Us. But now you just got to clean it, put it back together, set your float height. When you get your new needle and seat in with your gasket, hold it closed. Put you a good fuel line on your, take your tongue, suck on that, and put your tongue up against it. And if it holds vacuum on your tongue, it is not going to leak by the needle and seat. Guaranteed. This needs to be fairly tight. But if you put them genuine parts back in there, get this super clean from the main jet, low speed jet. It should also come out your low speed mixer screw. Get those clear and clean. Get your choke pickup clean. And you set your float height according to specs from where the gasket sits to the top of the end here. That baby's gonna run, it's gonna run right. I would never throw this carburetor away. I can salvage that carburetor. The only problem bothers me there, but it should seal. I have 10 or 12. But you buy these Chinese carburetors, dude, you're asking for trouble. Nothing to it. Pull your jet out. There's a clip holds it. Make note, this is in the second from the bottom. They usually come from the factory in the middle. If you lower this, when this is in your slide and this is all the way down, you are not running any off the main jet. You're running 100% off of the low speed jet. When this raises up to about a quarter raise, you start running off the low and the main. When this is all the way up, you're not running off the low at all. You're running strictly on the main. So if you're running a little rich, you can experiment and drop this. If you drop the needle, it's going to lean it out in your mid-range. There you go.